I'm getting away with myself. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Molly Smiles, and yes, I'm wearing glasses because I really need to see today. I'm sorry if the reflection of the light is gonna bother you. I'm gonna try my best to keep my glasses to where the reflection is not in them, so hopefully that doesn't bother you too much. But today I'm going to be talking about a movie that made me rant for so long after it that it was almost a little much. So that movie is What Keeps You Alive. It came out in 2018. It is currently right now on Netflix for you to watch. And if you haven't seen it, I suggest it's a thriller. Go over there to Netflix and watch it first and then come back and listen to me rant and see if you agree with my rantings or not. Because I'm going to be talking about a lot of main plot lines in this because, you know, I have to in order to tell you what pissed me off. This movie was written and directed by Colin Minihan or Minihan. I'm not entirely sure how you say it, but I do know his name is Colin. A couple's romantic anniversary getaway at a family cabin is ruined. I don't know if that's the word they used, but it's ruined when a childhood friend shows up revealing secrets that are no longer held in the past. So, man, let's get into it. This is the spoiler part, so if you haven't seen it, please go watch it before I spoil it for you. Our main person that we're following, the victim in all of this, is named Jules, and she is married to a woman named Jackie. And the friend, the childhood friend who ruins everything, is named Sarah, okay? That is basically what you need to know. I'm not going to go into the whole in-depth of the entire story, but basically Jules finds out that Jackie is a psycho, and she finds out this by Jackie pushing her off a cliff. What a way to figure out you've chosen the wrong person. Am I right? That's a little far. So Jackie gets a little cocky. She looks over after she pushes Jules off the cliff. She thinks she's dead because she's all bloody and broken. So she goes back to the house to get rid of the evidence and practice her 911 call for when she finds that her spouse fell accidentally off the side of a cliff. When she returns, Jules is not there. So this is where the movie's story, the main story, actually starts, okay? Jules makes a lot of bad decisions, and that is what I want to rant about. Why does nobody make good decisions in horror movies? But this one seems to be the worst, the worst case of bad decision making I've ever seen. So the first bad decision she makes is
Voiceover Molly cutting in to tell you that I take entirely way too long and too many pauses to explain that Jackie chases Jules through the forest the entire day until we get to this moment of the bad decision.
They do this for a whole day, and at the end of the day, it's dark, and Jules is hiding behind a tree, and Jackie is right next to her without realizing it, and she's yelling out. Well, it starts to rain. Lucky for you, Jules, except you didn't take advantage of the rain. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Jackie decides, because it's raining, that she's gonna give up and go inside. And from what I gathered, she just stayed inside. She did not continue to search for Jules while it rained. She just went inside and probably went to sleep because she's a freaking psychopath. Jules! Oh, Jules. I know that Jules probably had a concussion, a really bad one, and a lot of broken bones, but girl, in a survival situation, there's no time for sleep, okay? Jackie has time for sleep. You, however, honey, do not have time for sleep. And what does Jules do? She falls asleep in the rain at the tree. She does not move from that spot. Okay, now what I would have done is, in this movie, it shows you that there is a boat. The friend Sarah that I mentioned earlier, she lives right across the lake. I personally would have suffered through the pain, or tried to at least. I don't know what I would have actually done with these kinds of injuries, but I would have tried to suffer through this pain and go get in the boat while it's raining and dark. So not only do you have darkness that she can't see you, but you also have rain to where they can't hear you. And I would have rode my happy butt over to Sarah's place, and guess what? The police would have been knocking on Jackie's door while she was still asleep, okay? Maybe, I don't know, but You never know until you try. So Jules did not do that. I think that would have tremendously helped the story to not get to where it did, but I digress. So that's the first mistake that I believe Jules made. So she wakes up the next morning in the same place, and so she decides at this moment she wants to find a road. Still not the boat. She wants to find a road. So she starts walking, trying to. She's in a lot of pain. She did have a broken arm, I think it was, because it showed her just something. So if that makes you queasy, oh, you're not gonna like that. So she painfully walks until she stumbles upon the cabin, and she goes inside it. She doesn't know if Jackie's inside the cabin or not. Luckily she's not, because Jackie's out there being creepy. You know, she's hunting. Even though she's supposed to be hunting this girl, she's out there actually hunting just for fun. And with a tranquilizer, cool, let's just knock out a bunch of deer. She's hunting and Jules is at the house. So Jules goes inside, she looks for her phone, she can't find her phone. She finds her laptop, there's no internet connection, so she decides to go to the bathroom and start, cleaning herself up and, you know, addressing her wounds. She's got a broken finger that she has to put back into place. She says her ankle's broken, and she's got to stitch up her stomach, which, ooh, I would not have done that. Like, I mean, you need to stitch up places that need to be stitched, but I would not have been able to do that. I'm gonna guarantee you that. And I definitely wouldn't have been able to do it in a reasonable time frame of somebody hunting you. Okay, like, that is movie magic right there. There ain't no way that somebody would have been able to do that. So she leaves all this evidence that she's been in the bathroom, and she leaves and goes and gets in the boat to go finally to Sarah's. But guess what? At the same time she's getting in the boat, Jackie is getting home in the cabin. And guess what Jackie is finding? A bloody bathroom. So guess what? She knows that Jules is close by. So that's another mistake that I think that Jules made. You should not, like, you wasted time cleaning yourself up when you could have gone to a place that would have helped you and then cleaned you up with police on the way. Okay, like, that's just the moral of the story is get to safety before you start trying to clean yourself up, because it does not matter if you stitch up your stomach and you get caught by the crazy person who made your stomach bleed. You know what I mean? Like, it's just really, okay. So she's just terrible. She's rowing with her broken arms and everything. She's just the most pitiful person that you've ever seen in a boat before in your life. And Jackie, who is full of health, starts chasing after her, of course, and catches up to her pretty freaking quickly. And I believe that they're a mile off of Sarah's house, and Sarah's husband, Daniel, is standing on the dock. And Jackie has already caught up to Jules at this moment and climbed into the boat and threatened her. What a lovely, lovely coupling we have here. Like, great choice. Did you meet on Tinder? Because that would really be funny if that's how this started. Daniel sees them and he yells out. He had plans, him and his wife had plans to come over the following day for dinner, and Jackie tries to cancel those plans. But guess what Jules does, which is really smart. This was one smart thing she did, but then she screws it all up later. She yells after Jackie says, oh, it's not gonna work out. Jules yells, but tonight works. So guess what? We got guests. You can't kill me tonight. Look at you, because they've all seen me. So I'm gonna show you a clip from this scene, because whenever I first watched this movie, I've watched this movie twice. Whenever I first watched this movie, I had no idea how the heck Daniel did not know that something was wrong, because this girl's got blood everywhere on her, okay? And he just didn't even see it. But in this clip, it'll show you that he's kind of far away, and I'm just being a little too crazy about it. So roll the clip.
Doing this right now, Jules.
Everything okay, ladies?
Here is number 3 of the bad decisions. Oh my gosh. And this is a doozy. This has got, all in the same grouping of a setting, I think it's got 2, if not more, bad decisions, in my opinion. Okay, so Sarah and Daniel get there for the dinner party. The dinner was freaking awkward, okay? So much tension. They don't even understand why there's tension, clearly. And, but they get through it. Nobody, like, tells on anybody. But here's the weird part is afterwards, they're talking, they're drinking wine, and Sarah and Jules are inside, like a living room area, talking, and Jackie and Daniel are outside that living room area talking, like literally outside on the porch, standing in the window to where Jules can still see Jackie and Jackie can still see Jules. Well, as Jackie is talking to Daniel, Jules decides this is the time. This is the time to tell Sarah. But you know what? You want to know how she tells Sarah that her, wife is crazy? She has it written all over her face. That's how she tells her. She acts as if the person who is harming her isn't standing right there through a window that she can see through. Because her face is literally like you just see her whispering in this person's ear with the most horrified face. Then you see Sarah's face getting more horrified, and Jackie is staring at them both. And it's like, wow. The first rule of if you're going to tell on somebody while they're around is don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. And girl, you failed that test really, really bad, okay? Because Jackie sees it. Jackie kills Daniel immediately and then goes to chase after Sarah. Now before I get into this part, because I need to tell you where she made her mistake with talking to Sarah. If you have somebody who is harming you or wanting to kill you and you want to get a message out, the goal is to be as discreet as possible. If you want to tell somebody and you have somebody staring at you through a window but they can't hear you, you have a smile on your face. You say, "Hi Sarah, my wife is freaking crazy and she's trying to kill me. She's already pushed me off a thing. I had to stitch myself up. Can you please call the cops? But please don't make a scene. I don't want you guys to die." That's how you tell somebody you're in trouble. You don't sit there with the freaking person staring at your face. Oh, Jules. Okay, so she kills Daniel. And then she starts chasing after Sarah. What does Jules do? What does Jules do? Oh my God. Well, one, you don't want Jules around whenever you're in trouble because she ain't gonna do anything for you. She sits on the couch and starts crying as her friend gets chased up the stairs and killed, okay? You know what I would have done? I would have, at this moment that she's chasing this friend, taken this opportunity to run through the house and find something that I could use as a weapon. There is a gun hanging on the mantle, but this girl is dumb. I would have found something that I could have killed this woman with, or attacked her at least, and tried to save this wonderful woman, Sarah, who had suspicions all along. But no, why do that? Why not? Why when I can just sit here in peace and cry as my friend, my only hope of help, is killed upstairs? Thank you, Jules. You're so wonderful. Jackie makes Jules help her get rid of the bodies all night, and Jules is just a blubbering mess, like, oh my gosh, pull yourself together, okay? Like, you are terrible in these situations. So the next day comes, okay? Jackie wakes her up. She tells her that it'll be suspicious if she's fallen off a cliff by accident but has stitches in her stomach. So she takes the stitches out. And I got news for you, Jackie. It's suspicious that she has wounds on her that used to have stitches. Do you not know what an autopsy does, Jackie? Because I don't think you do. Because it doesn't matter if you take the stitches out. When they look at her body, they're going to see that she had a wound that was previous to her dying from falling off a cliff. And they're also going to see the suture holes. Okay? You know, like that's kind of what they go to school for. That's their job, is to figure out how somebody died and what all went wrong in their body. So not great thinking, but she tried. She tried. She tried. At some point, let me tell you, this is another smart moment. This is getting serious. I'm getting closer. So at some point, and I don't even know which point, I don't remember honestly, but Jules, when she is walking around, because Jackie believes that she's not going to run away, because guess what? You're right, Jackie, she didn't run away. She just went and like snooped throughout the house. Jules finds the tranquilizers that Jackie had been using and hunting that one day, and she's got it in her hand, okay? So just know that. So they get in the car to go, you know, die, basically. Jules is about to be pushed back off the cliff. So fun, right? So they're riding in the car, and eventually Jules finds the balls that she has been lacking this whole time, and she takes that tranquilizer and stabs Jackie in the neck, and then jumps out of the car and runs. And guess where she runs? She runs to the cliff. Okay. Well, Jackie passes out at the cliff because the tranquilizer. So Jules gets the keys from Jackie, runs back to the car, and drives away. That should be the end of the story, right there. You just tranquilize that hoe, go to the police, right? Sorry. So she just tranquilized her. You've got the car. Go, you know, go to the police, get as far away from this crazy person as possible, and that's that. Done. Hopefully she'll get eaten by a bear, right? So, no! Does Jules do this? Of course not. Of course she doesn't freaking do this. You know what she does? She decides, now I think I'm bad A, and I'm going to go back and fight this girl that I haven't been able to fight the entire freaking movie, but now all of a sudden I'm going to be able to, right? So she goes back. Well, guess what? The tranquilizer has worn off because apparently it's taken hours for her to come to this decision. So she goes back. Jackie is not in the house. So she's like, okay, well, I'm going to set up some traps in the house. And apparently at some point that you don't even know, she goes upstairs and films a video on the computer. She didn't even, they didn't even show it. So, cool. They're really great at telling you exactly what's going on. Anyways, so she draws Jackie to the house. She finally gets the gun off the mantle, and she waits. Well, Jackie shows up, and finally, Jules has the gun at Jackie's head. But you know what? Jackie is a convincing hoe, okay? Jackie, being a thinker, starts talking her way out of this. She starts telling Jules that the gun is on the mantle because it doesn't fire right. It's gonna break her arm. It's gonna break her nose. It's gonna destroy her before it destroys Jackie, right? Which causes Jules to hesitate. And this entire time that I'm watching this, I'm like, girl, don't hesitate. Don't believe her. She's trying to save her own butt, okay? Do not believe her. And what does she do? She hesitates because she kind of believes her. So then, what's her face? Jackie turns around, takes advantage of the hesitation, and starts fighting her. And once again, like we all knew from the beginning, Jules cannot fight worth a crap, okay? She really can't. And we all knew this. We all knew she should have just stayed in the Jeep and kept going and called the cops, but no. Where would the movie be in that, right? There ends up being a struggle in a room upstairs that you don't see, and you hear the gun go off, and you're back at the cliff, okay? Guess who gets pushed off? Miss Jules. And at this moment, I'm not gonna lie, I'm sitting here thinking, well, at this point, I think you pretty much deserved it, okay? Because like you had an out and you came back, okay? And I know you wanted redemption, but did you really get it being pushed off a cliff twice? Jules is off the cliff, okay? Jackie goes back to the house, and she goes up into the attic, which they have not gone into this entire time, and she finds this laptop that I had mentioned already. And on it was a recorded video that you have no idea, like when did you record this, Jules? When? I'd like to know. But anyways, I digress. She finds this laptop and it's got a message from Jules informing her that apparently at some point in the movie, Jules added...
I completely got this information wrong and mixed up, so I gotta tell you, she added hydrogen peroxide to the vial of tranquilizer, and according to the movie, if you inject hydrogen peroxide into the bloodstream, it starts to cause blood clots and then will eventually lead to a stroke. You just don't know when it's gonna happen. So in short, Jules kills Jackie. Boom!
So it basically is gonna kill her. And so I'm thinking, yes, Jules! Yes! Finally, right? So this girl starts to panic, and she basically panics and runs into a meadow and passes out, and I think dies there. Jackie dies there. But here is where that is not a redemption. If that was really the case, that really meant, that really meant that Jules could have left, not even called the cops. I mean, she could have, but she could have stayed gone in that Jeep because she put that tranquilizer in her neck before she stole the Jeep. She did not have to come back. This girl was gonna die regardless. And she still decided she needed to be all big and mighty and come back and try to fight this girl, knowing that what she gave her killed her anyways. Freaking idiot, right? So now I'm like, you extra deserve to have been pushed off that cliff for a second time. Do you want to know how this movie ends? I do not know how. By the grace of God, this girl takes a breath. I'm done. How is she still alive after this? She doesn't even deserve it at this point. Even her redemption. Oh my goodness, you could have just stayed gone. I could rant about this forever. I really could, guys. But tell me, this is my whole rant about this movie. I did like it. I just thought that her decisions throughout the entire thing were just terrible. Terrible decision making. Note this, if you're ever in trouble, don't make these decisions. Don't make these decisions. Test yourself. Oh my gosh. Please let me know down in the comments if you agree with me on any of this. If you even thought these things while watching the movie. If any of this bugged you. But literally that's all I could think of. The entire thing. Like that's where my brain was at. And I just got more and more frustrated. Also let me know if you liked the movie. And if you have movie suggestions for me. If you have not liked this video, but you've gotten this far, that means I've held your attention. So I'd really appreciate a thumbs up and a comment to let me know how I did on ranting about a movie for however long this video is. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe for more content. I hope y'all have a wonderful weekend. I hope you find some good movies to watch, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!